Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of the Science of Farming. We are so happy to welcome our audience here as you all start tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Give us the greetings. I want to go ahead and open up as we always do. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I greet each of you in the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
All right. Sister Aisha, you are on mute still. Look who we have with us, Sister Melody.
Yes, Brother Francis, beautiful wife, Sister Aisha.
Yes, Sister Aisha, praise be to Allah.
Uh,
And look, let me tell you, Sister Aisha, your husband provided such great information 2 weeks ago. And even then, we said that we had to have him back, and you agreed to come back with him. So we are so happy to see you. And we know that Brother Francis is right in the middle of a horrible, horrible storm. I
yes,
shouldn't say
ma'am.
horrible, a big storm. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Nikisha, Sister Amanda. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Everybody's coming on in now.
Sister
So,
Valerie.
to our audience, we want to say, as you listen to Sister Aisha and you listen to us dialogue, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Feel free to also, if you have experience in any area that we touch on, go ahead and put your information in the chat. And definitely, if you have questions, we'll handle those questions as best as we can at the end of the show. But I want to remind everyone why we do what we do. We are doing this because our beloved minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, definitely asked us to make sure that we grow our own food. And we say this every show, as we can bear witness, the food supply is just getting not only thin, but very, very, very unhealthy. There are a lot of chemicals in the atmosphere, in the water, and definitely in the food. Most intentionally being tainted. So we just ask, we want to do our little small part and encouraging everyone to plant their own food. And you don't have to do anything huge, but just start. So,
That's
Sister Aisha, I'm just so excited to jump right on in. Sister Melanie, I'm letting you take it away.
Okay, Sister Aisha and her husband, Brother Francis, have taken on this project where I just totally believe that this is like a sustainable project because you got so many other people involved. And I feel like the more involved we are connected, the more invested we are, we will, appreciate the value of it and help because we can't do anything alone, Sister Aisha. So
right.
your husband had shared some things, but last week we said, wow, he didn't even get halfway into some of the things that you've been doing. So we wanted you to talk about, some of your experience and
And
some of the
yourself.
things. Yeah, and just a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So I'm Sister Aisha. I've been in the nation about 30, I think 33 years now,
Wow.
and just celebrated 23 years with my husband. Um,
Praise be to Allah.
yes. And so we had the idea to come south to get land, like you said, Sister Rashida, to follow the minister's instruction to get land. And so we got raw land. And, everyone who has land know that it's not an easy task, but it's doable. And so day by day, we go in week by week and we just tackle one thing after another. And the ultimate goal will be for us to have a homestead that we live there and have lots of vegetation. Right now, as you all know, we build an orchard um, on the land, and we have about 49 trees on the land from different believers. And so when you all talk about, we'll go more into that. And so that's been exciting to for a lot to give me that idea and for us to actually make it happen is awesome. So I'll stop right there.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Sister Melody.
No, I was going to say, sis, I'm so glad Allah put that on your heart. I know today I got a phone call about, the land need to be perked. And all of these things that you and your husband and myself and others are going through, again, hopefully this forum, this platform here will help answer some of those questions, because so many people have different questions, but unless you go through it and experience it, you
That's right.
really can't even answer the questions to people. So that's I mean, I'm just so happy because, at the end of the day, when you have a tree that can bear fruit,
Come on.
and knowing, I mean, that's just like, I mean, we're gonna need that
Yes,
more
ma'am.
now than ever.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And you know
Hmm.
what I love about planting trees, and we've talked about that on this show in the past. When you plant trees, I mean, it's one tree, and you look at the bountifulness that you get, right? The
Yes.
harvest is unbelievable. And Sister Aisha, one thing I'm interested in is, did you have any experience in this area before?
Did not. None whatsoever. My husband, I used to tease and say, I'm not getting in the dirt. You bring the food in the house and I'll cook it. But when Allah gave me that inspiration, we have pictures and videos of me actually in the dirt, digging up and putting that black cow and the other uh,
Horse manure.
yeah, those people in the dirt, like literally planting the trees. And so had no experience. But a lot, if you have the desire, where there's a will, there's a way. If you have the desire, that God would bless you to be successful. And so, no, you don't need experience. You just need to do it. Just do
Yes.
it.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm so glad you said that, because um, that's what's so inspiring, Sister Aisha, especially to our guests. You don't have to do it, and they can see if you do it, then definitely I can do it. Because
That's
it's not like you studied for a long period of time. You all literally just jumped in and went for it, and you're being obedient.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I want to say assalamu alaikum to everyone. Welcome to everyone who are coming in. They're giving the greetings. We see you all. Thank you so very much. As Sister Melody, you have anything before we jump to these beautiful pictures? Because I definitely want Sister Aisha to talk about them.
Well, no, I'm gonna listen in this one because, again, just hoping that Sister Aisha, because she has some of maybe the pros and cons that she had to go through to acquire and get to the point to where she's at now.
Right, right. So let's go ahead and jump into the first one we're going to show. If it's set up, is the actual video, and then we'll move on into the pictures.
Cutting some
All
of the
right.
land. Came back out here on Sunday after the little Independence Day celebration we had. And we just did a little more cutting. The land is a little clear now. You know, all the wonderful believers are at home. We went to the mosque, had a beautiful day at the mosque. Thank Allah, man. Every day, man, we thanking Allah just for His mercy and His blessings. Yeah, that's how you show over there. Doing the little thing, showing the tractor. Allahu Akbar. But we got a whole lot more to cut. This ain't even nowhere near half of it, but man, we love it. So come on down and help. Or come on
Okay.
down and see what you want to do. Love to believe it, man. We all we got. Just remember that. Keep the wickedness and the cruelty out your hearts. And God came to give us peace, love, and freedom, justice, and equality. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has shown us through the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and from God who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. Think about that. Salam alaikum.
All right. How beautiful is that? Look at Sister Aisha working it out.
Yes, she is. Yes,
First
she
time on
is.
the tractor.
Look
First
at
time
Sis-
on the
I
tractor.
was going to ask you. So, Sister Aisha, you just jumped up there and did it?
So I wish I sent you the other video. Literally, my husband. So let me just say this: we got family, and so the believers, like he said, the tractor belongs to Sister Terry and Brother Rufus, and they
Mm.
allowed us to bring the tractor to the land so we can clear more of the land, and so they taught Francis when he went to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sunday, as you all see, we had a big shindig on Friday. I wish you all could see the pictures of all the tents. We had, I don't know how many tents pitched out there, but we put 2 yurts up, and we,
Wow.
deck, and we furnished it really nice, and we had DJ. I mean, we really had a nice independence out there. And then the tractor, we went back on Sunday to do some cleanup. And so I said to my husband, I said, babe, because he know me, once I like that zero turn, I get on there and I just work for hours. I said, show me
Yeah, you be
the
in the
track.
zone.
Oh yeah. And he did. And so I got on there. He had to call me off. Come on, okay, it's time. Come on. Because the progress, everything
Mhm.
we do is progress. I just wanted, because we had never cut, we burnt that area, but we had never cut that area down there. So to be able to break it down, that was awesome for me. And like he said, we have over 7 acres, and we probably just cleared maybe 3 acres right now. And
Wow.
we still got about 4 acres still to clear. And so we're gonna just chip at it every couple of days, go down there and work at it till we can get it all the way down.
Yes, ma'am. And
Ask the
we
question, Sister.
oh, Sis Aisha, you there?
She was having a little difficulty, but she was
Okay.
saying,
Yeah.
sister,
She should be able to log back in shortly. I know the weather in her area and in your area is kind of rough.
yes,
So I'm
yes, I
glad.
don't know.
Yeah,
Our
I'm glad
audience
you're able to be
from,
on.
yes, because we have some strong winds and we have some, flooding. They say possible floods in this area in the Delaware Valley. And, we just blessed right now. And that even makes us to know more that this is so important what we're doing, because whenever the weather is affected, Sister Rashida, that means our crops are affected.
Absolutely.
Whenever we have floods and different things like this going on, strong winds, the food is affected,
It is. And
on a high level.
I was sharing with you and Sister Aisha before we actually aired about my banana trees that I lost 3 of them last year during a hurricane. And once the ground gets so saturated, sometimes I don't care how firm the roots are. Once that ground gets oversaturated and those winds start to blow, it's going to lay it down. It's going to lay
Yeah.
it down. So I'm so grateful that I do have my banana trees that have come up. There you are, Sister Aisha.
Are you
Can you
there?
hear us?
Yes, I can hear you all. I'm so sorry. Our power went out, like just out. Bam.
Yes, I was explaining to the audience that you all were having some rough weather there.
Yes, ma'am. So
Yes,
I
ma'am. What's
jumped
Sister
in on my
Aisha?
cell phone.
Oh, that's fine. We can see you. We do have a question. We have a sister from Sister. No. You don't want to answer it right now? Okay, we'll do it during question time. So, Sister Nikisha, we do see your question. We'll ask that during the question time. But Sister Aisha, you mentioned zero turn, and your husband mentioned that 2 weeks ago also. But I wanted to go back to it for those who don't know what a zero turn is. What is that?
Okay, and I'm sorry, my connection sounds terrible. Can
Okay.
you repeat that again? I heard 2 weeks ago, my husband and then I didn't hear the rest.
Right. You had mentioned today zero turn. And I
Oh,
just
yes,
wanted to,
ma'am.
yeah, for those who don't understand that language, what is a zero turn?
So it's a lawnmower. It's a industrial lawnmower that has like a 60. Our lawnmower has a 60-inch width, so it cuts 60 inches at a time, and you sit on it. It's a riding lawnmower, and it literally would just turn in zero, just turn in a circle. And so that's equipment. When you have land, that's an awesome equipment to have. The zero turn
It
to
is.
cut the lawn. Because
It is.
you can't walk, you cannot walk, use a walking lawnmower when you have
Right.
acres of land. It's not gonna work.
Right. Yes, ma'am. And sister, you mentioned that you all had to burn the land. So for those who are not familiar with that process, can you talk to us about that? Is that the first stage you would normally do?
That's the very first stage. So when you burn the land, so when we got it, it was all high twigs and wasn't tree. We have pine trees on there as well, but it was a lot of twigs. You couldn't walk through it all. And so when you burn the land, we have the forestry department to come out. It's like about 250 total. And they burn, for us, it was 250 for the 7 acres.
Mhm.
They burn the land, which brings nitrogen and nutrients to the land by doing that burning process. And so, and it helps to break down that extra debris too. So it was like a double purpose for us to bring the nutrients to the land as well as to, break the twigs down. So then our zero turn would be able to cut the grass.
That's good. I learned something. I learned something. So I know our audience learned something as well. And time is fleeing so fast. Okay, so listen, your orchard. Talk about that and that tree donation process. Because listen, I know our listeners are going to be inspired, and I know they're going to use this
Yes.
as a blueprint.
Yes, ma'am. So after prayer one morning, I was laying there, thinking of things to do with the land, and Allah inspired me and said, because I'm in the trees, I'm like, you plant the tree once, you ain't got to worry about like each year with vegetation. You got to go and do all, you just got to water it. But I found out, as Sister Melody, trial and error, and you also have to still do the weeding. That's a whole nother story. But I'm like, just plant the trees, and in a couple of years we'll have fruits. And so I threw the idea out to a couple of people, and they were like, yes, we'll buy trees. And so I put a structure together, the different trees, and thank Allah, Sister Melody is one of the sisters who joined our orchard. I think she has blueberries. Is it blueberries, Sister
Yes.
Melody? Blueberries.
Yes, ma'am.
So I end up with like a row. I have rows. So rows of pomegranate, plum, peach, nectarine, apricot. I'm missing some trees. And then I also have all the berries, the blackberries, the raspberry, the blueberry, the elderberry, grapes, cherries, also as a part of the orchard. And like one family has 10 different trees and little berries and trees.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have 6, this family have 6, some have 2, some have 1. And what I ask everyone to do is to give me the name of who they want the tree in honor of. So I have bricks. I haven't put it out yet, but they have the layout of where their tree is on the land. And so I'm going to stand working on how to get the names and put it out there in honor of their grandmother. Some people want their baby that passed away, just in honor of whoever they want. And so that tree will be named on their behalf. And I'm excited. We've been out once to weed it on our hands and knees. No weed be gone. On our hands and knees, weeding it, and it needs to be weeded again. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that whole thing, Sister Aisha, is awesome, because that's some of what I've done too. So my grandson, I want to say about 4 years ago, when my aunt passed away, he planted a tree in her honor, and now that it's a crepe myrtle, and now that tree, because you want to try to plant native trees to that area.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever you get the trees, hopefully they come from that area, because they'll do better. They used to the soil and everything. The bugs even used to that area. You got certain bugs that's just, native to the area. So yeah, that tree now is got to be over 8 feet tall. So when he comes back and forth now, he could just see what he's done, and he planted that tree.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you said, when you were talking, Sister Aisha, it reminded me too. In our culture, when someone passes away, you know how they give the relative like a tree, or
Yes,
like
ma'am.
we got a piece lily when our mother-in-law, when my mother-in-law passed away. So we've been doing this throughout, but we just never thought about giving like a fruit tree. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Or
ma'am.
an apple tree, an orange tree. We never thought about that aspect, but hey, we can shift to that, right?
Yes, ma'am, for sure.
Yes, yes, because we were already giving that away. Now I want to read a few things in our chat. One sister is saying one of our clients have got that their land out in Brooksville. So I'm thinking they might be talking about the zero turn, that their relative have a zero turn out in Brooksville.
Yes, ma'am. It's necessary when you have land.
Yes, it is. It is. And you know what, sis? So the zero turn, did you borrow that from someone as
No,
well? Or
ma'am. We purchased that. We
It's
purchased
it's
the zero turn.
it's worth having. You right, because I'm paying somebody with a zero turn to cut, and it's a few $100s every couple of weeks when it rain, and these zero turns cost about $5,000 and up, and some of them are a little bit cheaper, but depending on the size. But you're right, Sister Aisha, it makes a world of a difference, and it's just an investment when you have acres of land. I say definitely 3 or more acres. You're gonna need a zero turn.
Yes, ma'am. And just so you all know, we actually have fruits on the trees
yes.
already, which
Wow.
was so exciting, because I didn't expect it. The peach tree had a whole bunch of fruits on it, and
Wow.
I don't know if it was between the deers or just wind. We've been having, a lot of rain and wind that they blew off, but when we went there on last week, they weren't there. But they weren't mature enough to eat now anyway. It was just a
Right.
blessing to see it. And on one of the photos I sent you, Sister Rashida, you see there was I think that was a pear tree. There was one pear on that tree, and it was still there, which was exciting. When you see your hard work pay
Yes.
off, we know it doesn't happen in abracadabra. We just
Mm-hmm.
have to plant and call on the God, and then let him do what he do,
Right.
and be happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Do we have time to take a look at the pictures? I know time is flying by. The rest of the pictures?
Yes,
Our,
ma'am. If
our
we
tech team here. Okay. So yeah, that's another picture of the tractor. Is that your husband on the tractor
That's
this
my
time?
husband on a tractor. Yes, ma'am.
And
Okay.
is
And yeah,
that a picture?
he mentioned the utility pole that was being installed 2 weeks ago when he was on the show.
Yes, he and another brother Darren, put the utility pole in.
That's what I'm talking about. Look, teamwork make the dream work, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we all we got, and
That's
you got
right.
to team up with some people who will be able to help you, because it's not easy, but it's doable.
Right, right.
Yes,
And this
ma'am.
right here is one of the trees.
Yes, ma'am. One of the trees, and you all can see we staked it so it doesn't fall, because we've been having a lot of rain,
Right, right.
and you all can see it's time for us to weed. It's time for us to get in there and pull up uh that
So,
weed.
Sister Aisha, some of the things that I can tell you again, they call it the donut. You could put mulch like inside of, like, it's a 3-3-3 rule, where you put it 3 inches away from your tree to make the donut, and then 3 inches high and about 3 inches away. I tell it to you, but either way, it's a donut. Then you won't have to weed as much.
Yeah, we had mulch there, but I think from the rain it blew. If you
Oh,
could
okay.
see it well in the picture, but we had like a circumference of about 3 foot of mulch, but I think that rain and wind and everything blew it away. So we do need to add more down there. But yeah, let's talk offline. Sounds good.
Yes. And then they have those things that you could put around the tree, hopefully to keep some of them weeds down. But I know this is not the time, of course, but I got some information on that as well. So
Yes,
you could cut
ma'am.
back on the weeding.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we do have a couple of questions coming in. So we want to jump to that because actually we have like 1 minute left. So we're going to try to hit that question. I see another
Okay.
question actually came in through the chat. We'll try to get to that one. So go ahead and let's load up the questions. Okay, this is from Sister Nakisha. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aisha. How can you tell the ground if the ground is fertile or should that be a concern?
So I would say two things with that. One, you get a perk test, and that will tell you what your soil, what it's good for, because it's fertile for something. It's producing land. In our lessons, if you're there, which I think you are, because you said Assam Lakeham, we have so much 29 million square miles of producing land, and so it'll produce something. But like I have sandy loam, and so like watermelon, you got to know what is good for the land that you have. And so the perk test is necessary to help you with that. But I can tell you the land is fertile, and you can always go get some black soil from Belglade, wherever you could get it from, and add, nutrients. We put black cow, which is cow manure, into the fertilization. And so, the minister, when he got the land, it was not his land in Detroit. It wasn't, or it was Georgia. It wasn't all that producing. But we got the true and living God behind us.
Yes,
Just
yes,
just get the
ma'am.
land.
That's
Just get
right.
the land and
That's what I'm
watch how the
talking about.
God works.
Absolutely. I bear witness. I bear witness. Okay, we have one more question and we got to shut it down because if
Oh,
we're too far over, they won't keep this segment. All right, so
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
see. This is from Brother Nathaniel. Who installed the service drop?
So when he says the service drop, I don't know. So the poll was my husband and Brother Darren. Brother Darren has been very instrumental with doing stuff. He built our gate. He helped put the platform that you saw up in the picture, and my husband is right there with him, learning every step of the way. So that's the pole, service pole, and then Okamogi Electric came in and gave us the electricity, added to our service pole, and put lights on the land. We, had to pay a little extra a month to
Right.
get lights on the land. So I hope that is answering your question.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. And Sister
Yeah.
Aisha, I have so many more questions I wanted to ask you, but our time is short. And again, if we go over too far, they won't hold on to this segment. You got to
Yes,
come back
ma'am.
again. You got to
Yes,
come back
Please.
ma'am.
again one more time because I do have some more questions for you. But for
Yes,
everyone who
ma'am.
has joined us today, thank you so much, Sister Aisha. Been a tremendous inspiration and blessing to us.
Yes.
So thank you
Yes,
again,
ma'am.
Sister
Thank
Melody.
you for
Anything?
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. One quick
Yes,
word,
thank
Sister
you.
Melody, before we go out. Thank you.
Well, yes, we want to inspire people to keep on, just do something.
Right. So
Yes.
we will see you all again next week. Same place, same time. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Wa alaikum
salam.
salam, ma'am.